much as I don't want to admit it, I'm heading into my 25th year of being a nurse. I started off as a dialysis nurse, so I would do dialysis on patients that needed and were waiting for a kidney. And then when I decided to travel and I went across an ocean to Hawaii, I got into organ donation, which is something that a lot of nurses don't have the opportunity to do. But I was on the other end of speaking to families about their loved ones no longer being able to survive their injury. And so I had to have a hard conversation. And some of those hard conversations were with moms and dads and their little ones that weren't going to make it. And were they going to make this decision to save another life? And I did that for several years. And then I came full circle and I did the transplant side of things. And the transplant side of things was when I got to call the families, the moms, the dads of a little baby or a little child that's been waiting for a heart and tell them that we have one. I had the opportunity to get into the travel industry and I've loved it here. They're very flexible with what my needs are as a single mom, but I also still get to feel like I make a difference as a nurse. I still get to talk to my travelers. I still get to have that healthcare piece. It just works for my life right now. I think that just being able to relate to somebody as far as being a nurse and being in the healthcare field in general, it almost gives you a little bit of street cred because they understand that you understand what they're going through. And there are a lot of recruiters that are great recruiters. It doesn't mean that because they don't have healthcare background that they're not as good of a recruiter, but sometimes it's that feeling that you know what they're going through and they really appreciate that. The relationships that you make with people are my absolute favorite part. So I've got travelers that I've spent holidays with. I have a traveler that when we hit our 1-year work anniversary of working together, we went to Myrtle Beach together. I've got another traveler that I am planning on going on a medical mission with. These are things that I normally wouldn't have done if I haven't been a recruiter and been able to make these connections with people. And they're lifelong friends. And it's something that they'll be in my life forever. So I absolutely love that piece. I miss the nursing part, don't get me wrong, but I love the connections that I'm making. COVID did throw a wrench in the entire travel world. There was a lot of money. There was a lot of government assistance. There was a lot of nurses making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a week, sometimes even more than that. I mean, you could hear people say that they made $10,000 a week. Unprecedented. That probably won't ever happen again in our lifetime. And so what happens is once the pandemic was declared over, then our industry started to stabilize back down to what the rates were before. And the common misconception, at least in my opinion, is the money piece of it. You have to duplicate your expenses, which means they have to pay for their housing and their food and everything that they're doing in addition to where they are for their permanent address. So once you take all of that into consideration, they're traveling for the experience. They're not traveling for the money anymore. And so getting that through to people has been really difficult, and it's caused really a lot of misconception in the field. What the travel piece does is it gives people the opportunity, like me, to experience the world. You know, they can go anywhere. I didn't go to make thousands and thousands of dollars. I went for the experience. And the experience that I had while I was there, I would never change it. It's very scary, but it's very worth it. And I just wish more people would get past the fear part of the travel and just, you live one life. And this is the best way to do a job that you love and to experience things that you normally wouldn't experience. Well, I can say from personal experience that nursing in general is a thankless job. And I know that that might not sound like something that people would agree with. However, unless you've been in that situation, really can't say whether that's true or not. So if we're gonna have a week for nurses, they 100% deserve it. They deserve a lot more than a week, right? And so it's more than giving them pizza. It's more than giving them, you know, a lanyard or a pen or something like that. The appreciation piece of it, I think, is what we need to focus on, because they aren't appreciated for all the things that they do. It is a truly thankless job, and we need to get better at making it more than just Nurses Week, but we'll take what we can get, right? But it's definitely really important that companies do take care of their nurses during that time. I want to feel like I'm not a number. I want to feel like my company cares about me. And as a recruiter, if my company treats me the way they treat me, I know that they're going to treat a traveler the way that they treat me too. And I'm a single mom. You know, they take care of me. They understand that maybe things are a little bit different and need to be adjusted because of my situation. Never once have I felt bad about it, or felt guilty about it, or felt like I was gonna lose my job, because they want me to put my kids first. They want me to have a happy life, because if I have a happy life, then I'm gonna be really good at my job. And I absolutely love this company for that. When they say it's heart-led, they're not kidding. I think one of the greatest qualities for a travel nurse is the ability to put a little bit of your fear aside. So there's some people that are very comfortable with, I'm gonna stay in one place for 30, 40 years, retire. And that's great. But there's also this entire experience that you're also missing out on. So if you are willing to lower that just a little bit and lower that comfort level and put yourself out there a little bit, get through the fear a little bit. It depends on who your recruiter is. If you've got somebody that you know will help you through when you are scared to death, because it's scary, you're on your own, and you want somebody that you know is gonna be there with you. Now, I won't be there physically, but at least I can help them through that piece of it. The fear factor is real and it's scary, but if you can get past it, totally worth it.